Hello, everybody. I see there are some people active now. Hello, Barbara Boyd. Hello, you guys. Nice to see you guys. I am here live. This time, it's a surprise what I'm showing today, and Matt's here with me. I'm just wearing all my stuff like I usually do. I met with my students yesterday. I really had a nice time. Some of my students are back on again today. The students from Intentional Metalsmithing. Hello, hello, hello. Nice to see you guys join. Kim Kretzberg, this actually is for you as well, Kim Kretzberg. I wanted to show you because Kim, actually, I saw you do these beautiful pieces with the scalloped edges, and I wanted to show a little hint about those, which will be really cool. Okay, hello, you guys. Yay, today, you guys, thank you guys so much. First of all, and then Matt's here to film, which I'll introduce him in a minute. Matt is a nice, smiley, happy mood today, right, Matt?
Yes.
He's nice and smiley today. So he's actually, I'm going to actually do a live demo that I thought would be kind of cool. But I'm starting off with all my jewelry on while you guys all join. Matt is in the building, somebody says.
That would be me.
And she just went up quickly. Yes. So good. So you guys, you know what? I've been thinking gems all week long. Week long, because we actually just got all the, hey, Christina's on, yay. So we have we packed everybody's gems. I've been drooling over these gems. When I talk about these gems, you guys, it's like, I'm setting and I'm arranging and I'm setting up all these gems, and then I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I possibly give these up? And then I make a big line and I'll have like 50 lines of what I'm keeping with, 50 different sets. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to finish this in my lifetime. So I'm having to give up all these beautiful, beautiful collections. Oh, Adrian says, isn't Matt always smiling? Let's see, Matt, come over here and give these guys a smile if you're smiling. He's quiet today. Let's see. He's been doing a lot of Halloween orders and things like that next door. So, yay! Oh my gosh, you guys, the gems will be on the way today. They're all packed up, and I think they're being shipped out today. So, yay! So, you know what? I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to pull this up. Oh, there just went my beautiful collection of gems. Hey, guys, I wanted to show you guys my gems, and Matt can actually zoom in on it better, but these are the tourmaline here. Here, Matt, you want to zoom in on these?
Whoa, that's me. Turn that around.
Turn that around.
All right, here we go.
Okay, come on in and scan over my gems while people are joining. So these, you guys, people were asking me yesterday about storage, and there's my rings in here. These over here are the tourmaline. These are the rainbow tourmaline. Oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. They're probably one of my favorites. It's just because they're such rich colors, but like, look at these dark ones and look at the pinks. You can't get a pink like that in another color. And I love these ambers in here, and some of the greens are just beautiful. Look at this orange right here with the tourmaline. Normally, you guys, I was asked a lot of questions about how to keep them in your studio, so I laid them out here. This is some of the gems that are coming your guys' way. I feel like the pictures weren't even as beautiful as you guys are gonna get. This reminds me of rainbow colored candy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So this is like what I have laid out for me to put together, and so I'm super excited. But what I want to show you, what I thought I could show again today, is I am gonna show just another bezel setting, because I changed up so much from how the gems were. So scan over here, Matt. I'm gonna let these guys see right here. Kim had a question about this scalloped edge. So see the scalloped edge on here? I actually did it double. If you guys are interested in in the layers. I'm not showing that one today. That's for the people in my intentional metalsmithing. I did a lot of this for us today, but I wanted to show how to set a stone with the scalloped edges on here. They're tricky. You have to build your bezel all the way up to the top. You have to get it up there with some height. So this one actually is going to have a lot of height that I'm going to have to add in. So I wanted to also show you when I'm in my studio with my gems. I was asked a lot of questions on how do I store, how should you store your gems? How should you handle them? For me, when I'm not handling my gems, I just want to keep them really clean. Before I ship them out to you guys, I don't touch them with my hands because I don't want to go in and clean them all up before I send them to you guys too. So, for me, what I do is I have gloves on when we're packing or handling them. This is Matt. Matt made me, how I told you guys, Matt makes a lot of my tools for me. So he made me this, and I can have a glove on, and I could use my shovel and just kind of slide things on to move them around. But I actually have these baking pans in my studio. I'm getting a brand new system. I'm actually getting those file drawers that we talked a lot about. I talked about yesterday to my students, those architectural files where I can keep my gems stored, and I'm gonna lay paper towels down. When you have paper towels down, you have some movement, but it's not a lot. You guys can see, that there's no fingerprints on here, any of that. You could really see the nice shine from the rose cut. So when I talk about these gems, I really realized so many people were starting to ask me for these gems, and I realized how different they are because I asked my cutter, my guy who cuts for me, I asked him to give me the uneven edges around the side, which is super unusual. I didn't even realize. I talked to a lot of people about being authentic and being here, really building and being who you are and being authentic. And for me, so when I thought about what are my shapes, what do I authentically like to work with, I realized that I love all these uneven edges. I love the rose cuts that give me that nice glitter and shine, to all of them. So you're just gonna see these really shine all the way through, but they're not as expensive as you would think because they're so shallow. And that's what I love about them. So I'm so obsessed. I dream these gems. I'm really having fun working with them. So anyway, and then what I do is once I store these, my collection laying out, I usually group them together. I usually will lay a paper towel over them when I'm not using them. I know some people have a real clean studio. I'm in an old factory. I have a lot of dust blowing in, rain blowing in, all kinds of things blowing in. So for me, it's like I just put a little thin layer, or you could even put, a transparent silk on top of it or something like that. You don't want these to get scratched. They could actually scratch pretty easy too. So anyway, I am gonna show you guys. Let me put this down to the side because I don't want to mess these up. You don't have to follow me now.
Oh.
We'd hate seeing it. Okay, you guys.
Sherry asked me a question. I'll message you later.
Okay, so come on in. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna take off this long one if I can get this taken off. My jewelry gets a little tangled together sometimes when I wear so much of it. And on with my craft optics, guys. This one I'm not gonna solder in, but these I can. Okay, you guys, come on over and check it out right here.
That's the best place to get in there. Okay.
I've got this set up, so I showed you guys this earlier. I have a nice scrap piece of metal that I'm gonna use that I kind of just sanded the top of it down. If you guys don't use, I wanted to show you guys this, what I kind of love is, this one I actually have set beautifully for my stone. I'll let you guys see what my stone looks like inside here. So you can see how much I'm gonna have to raise this. This is gonna wanna sit down to here. So I've got a long way to go. I'm gonna have to put a couple layers in there to raise that. But it takes a little bit longer, but it's really nice because it really acts as a long, just as a nice piece. So anyway, I also built this piece for the side. I wanted to show you guys these pliers. When I was building this piece, you can see the bezel wire is sterling silver and the top of it is fine silver. So when I'm building this, I really have to get in and manipulate the shape. You know, this is actually done right. So these are one of my favorite pliers. I realize exactly why these pliers are here. This is the Revere pliers, and they have a beautiful curved end on the inside, just on one side, and the other end is flat. So I really never used these before I started doing these real unusual bezels, because I can get in and really shape my bezel, and I can get in with this piece too and get my bezel wire shaped. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, this is something different, and I know I showed this in my course too. I'm going to go ahead and spray this, and here comes the flames, guys. Usually I keep this a little not as lit up. Now remember, when I'm soldering here, I'm not going to be able to talk very properly to you guys, so I will try. Okay, I dried up my flux. I haven't taught this in a really long time, I'm realizing. Now I'm going to use some medium. This is my medium, and I have pieces about this big. I just kind of drop them in the center to start, and then just kind of work their way around. The reason I'm putting in excess, I've got a lot in here, but the reason I'm putting in excess is I'm going to use the same solder to hold down my twisted wire. Remember, I told you guys I can't really talk that well. I'm not worried necessarily about the placement. This is really going to flow. The only other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my twisted wire and I'm going to quench it now so it doesn't get full of fire scale. So I'm going to set this first. I go in a couple layers. I don't usually do everything at one time, even if I could. Okay, take this bracelet off. And here we go. This is why the screens, there were so many questions, and I know there's a lot of new people too, but I just really want to get in here, turn it up pretty high. This is when I'm working with a higher flame, and I want to dry all this up. And then this is cold. I haven't really soldered anything today. You can see how I have a little gap under here. So I'm going to get in and I'm going to heat up my fire brick a whole bunch under here. I'm going to find a place to put my elbows on the table. Once I get this heated up under, I'm going to get in and heat up my screen. Heat the heck out of my screen. See, I've just got this raised. I'm going to hold it for a really long time. There, I started to see the solder flow. I'm going to pop into the center. This one I can't really spin because I have it set up that way, but could you see how it just flowed? I'm bringing a lot of that solder out and around. See, here we go. The whole piece looks beautiful. See how I pulled out? See how I have a lot of solder right here? Well, the reason I have a lot of solder is because I'm not going to put any new solder on here to hold down this piece here. So I'm going to actually quench this all in. I'm going to quench it in water. I'll be right back. Okay. So then I quenched it in water. Oop. Usually you don't do that. Now I want to tell you guys, this one is done pretty nicely, but usually, sometimes I have to get in here and really stretch my wire all the way around. And this actually is in the Alchemy of Soldering. If you guys want to see this again, you could watch it here, or this is Alchemy of Soldering. But I'm just kind of showing, so many people ask me to show with these gems that you guys are all getting in. Did I spray you, Matt? Or
sprayed the phone.
Sprayed the phone.
Don't worry about me.
Okay, so everything's sprayed again. You can see how nicely my my bezel wire is sitting down. Sometimes you see a little bit of movement when this starts setting, but I've got all that solder around the outside. I still have solder on the inside, so really I'm just trying to pull all this solder out to the outside so I don't have to add extra. If you guys have ever added extra solder under your wire, there's more of a chance that you're going to see your solder. It gets messier. So I found this is a super clean way to just to be able to get in and to get things done. Now, if you're new here today, I have the Alchemy of Soldering that's free. This will be on my YouTube side if anybody later wants to come back. I'm so sorry I lost the last two. Somehow my internet was acting super crazy that day. So again, I have to go all the way under and heat under my board again, under my screen. My flame is not up that high. Maybe it's 1.5 inches long. It's not that loud. And then I'm going to get under my silver piece. I'm holding it a different way this time. And just really get under here. Can you guys see that? Let's have to hold it a different way. And I'm just getting this screen so super hot under here. You would think that you could use these screens forever, even if you get holes in them. Don't worry about it, they last forever. Okay, now as soon as I put this down, as soon as I put this down, you get under over here too and here. As soon as I put this down, I'm gonna pop into the center. There we go, see how that solder is flowing? See how this solder is just flowing? If I have to, I'll press down here. And if I can't get an area, I just come back to it. You're just slowly working. So now I want the edges to be hot because remember, my heat pulls the solder out. I want to stay away from where I have it soldered together though. There. So this is really a beautiful way. You're not going to see solder, sitting on the inside of here. You're not going to see it in other areas. It really is nice and clean and it's soldered from the bottom. So that's kind of fun. Okay, I'm gonna pickle this, guys. I'm gonna put it in here hot because it's earlier in the day. And now I wanna see who's all on. I'm gonna stick it back up here again, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Oh, we have to flip it around? Thanks, Luke, thank you. Okay, let me get this back on. Matt's on too, so if you guys had questions for him. I thought next week I'm going to have Matt come on again. We work together as a team. He builds my tools for me, so it's kind of cool. Hi, guys. Hi, did you guys like that demo? Yes, I know. So I know I took off a lot of my jewelry. I do wear rings when I solder. I don't usually wear a necklace. I'll wear my chokers. I'll wear sometimes little rings. There's rings that I never take off. And I'll wear my bracelets that don't have things hanging. I usually keep on during the day. I usually don't wear my earrings because I'm moving my craft optics up and down. And you had trouble twice with the scallop bezel wire soldered with hard. Okay, see? So the scallop bezel wire, if you have you really need to get your gem all the way up to the top because past where the gem sits, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. I'm gonna use, I had a whole bunch of this. This is actually from Parawire. I showed originally how to work with steel, but this is from Parawire, and this is a 14 gauge, and it's nice and hardy. It's a copper that has a sterling silver around there. So, hi you guys, nice to see you guys. In a prayer back with the medium, just getting, okay, it comes apart with the solder. Yes, okay, so I always solder my pieces together with hard, and you're just getting it too hot, love. You have to get in and out as quickly as possible. Oops, let me get this up this way. So you just have to get in and out as quick. You know what? You're gonna know when you're a practiced silversmith. Don't be too hard on yourself at the beginning. There always is the questions of how hot, how much should you go in. It was separating while soldering the prayer box. Okay, and you're definitely using hard. There is actually a coating you can put on your seam, and it is called, oh my gosh, what is it? It's that you cover it on your seams if you really are having trouble. After you're doing this for a long time, you really learn how to get around and in and out without bothering anything. It's a mineral that you put on, but also Rio has like it's called Rio Chill Gel, and you could put it on your joints, and they're gonna keep them a little bit more protected. Yellow ochre, thank you, love. It's yellow ochre, and you can find yellow ochre just at any jewelry place. You know, you guys, I wanted to also give a heads up for Thunderbird. I don't know if you guys know it, but Thunderbird is this incredible jewelry company. It's Native American Indian. They were here way before Rio Grande. I just see some of their posts on there. They're you know, the guys were a lot of the silversmiths, and they sell, you know, they're selling a lot of the bolos, showing a lot of bolos. So yeah, so ochre's a good idea. So if you're really whiteout, that's right. There's also whiteout that we used to use for typing, but not the water-based whiteout, right? I think there's a mineral-based whiteout that works too. Now there's another use for it, because who types anymore? Who uses whiteout, you know? So Thunderbird is a good source. Also, who else is a good source? Oh my gosh, I love this team. I'll think of a couple more, but I'm personally trying to use, you know, just regular whiteout. Just regular whiteout. Okay. Isn't there a water-based too? Use the water-based whiteout. Okay. Excellent. So put those up if you guys are having any trouble at all. I'm going to grab my piece now. Hang on. It's done. So this week I was actually thinking, you know, I was actually like, oh my gosh, okay, here comes the craft optics, guys. I have to use my reading glasses now for everything, because hello. It doesn't work with my jewelry, but whatever. You know, once you get used to using these with your jewelry, you have to keep going. Okay, here's my piece. It's out. Soldered down really nicely. You can see how clean, you know, oh, thank you. I get hearts for that. Thank you so much for the hearts. I'm actually just going to get in a little bit. I might need Matt to come over here again, but okay, you know what, you guys? I'm actually going to set this right now, but you guys know how I'm going to set this now, but I'm going to open it back up later. Sometimes I open stones back up because I need to actually solder this to a piece. So normally I use my jeweler saw for a lot of this. I think today I'm just going to use my snips just because it's nice and quick. If you use your snips, you just have more filing and cleanup. Do you mind grabbing it, Matt? Thanks, love. Okay. If you use your snips, you just have more filing to do. So a lot of times I just use my jeweler's saw. It's less cleanup later. There's some nice pieces there that I'm gonna love later. Okay, if you use your snips, I'm gonna show you the back of it, which I do, you know, snips are nice snips are nice, but you can see how rough the edges are on here. So what I usually do if I'm going to use my snips, you have to do more filing, or I'm going to bring it over here to my jeweler's wheel. Come on. This is actually my Scotch-Brite wheel, and I can get in. I'm kind of tipping it so I don't hit my twisted wire at all. See how the back's looking? So I'm just getting right in here. I actually have my magnifiers on so I can see if any way it's going to get on here and damage. Ooh, it's starting to get hot. It's going to damage my twisted wire at all. I don't want that damaged. Okay. Look, I had a piece of solder on my board, so that's going to have to come off. The best way, sometimes, you know, it's like I realize sometimes I have to get on and be careful with the backs. I'll have a piece of solder laying there, and all of a sudden I've got solder on my piece. So I usually try to stay pretty careful with things like that, but just really putting some pressure from the center.
You got a question.
What is it?
From Charmed, I'm Sure Studio. What wheel are you using?
Let me pull it out. What wheel? It's a 3M.
Okay.
Charmed, I'm sure. I have another one here. Nope, I don't. I'll have to get that to you later, Jean. And hi, by the way. Okay, so now it's out of here. I'm really gonna get this polished up. Well, I start with this small one here. I wanna really make sure I get inside here. And I know a lot of people know how to do this, and but this is just specifically for setting the gem. And you guys, get onto the alchemy of soldering again. There's some, I have to find my brush.
Kim is also asking what type of wheel, so.
Oh, I'll
better get them that information.
Okay, I definitely will. Usually Christina can pop it on, but I don't think Christina knows that one. Okay, it's like a Scotch-Brite wheel. You know what you guys use for scrubbing? What we use for scrubbing our pots sometimes? That green Scotch-Brite wheel. I used to always use that, instead of the steel brushes. But okay, I almost have that solder off the back here. You can see how nice the back looks, even with using the snips. So sometimes you just have to be careful. Okay, now before, this was also a question that someone had, because this is really interesting. If you don't scrub your piece up, if you keep that pickle on here and you don't scrub it up before you put in liver sulfur, you are going to have a really, you're gonna have like a dull piece. So I even go in, see this motion here? Look at how shiny I'm getting my silver. If I'm not using a wheel, I'm getting ready to put this in liver sulfur to clean it. So I need to go in and really get a nice shine going here, because it's just, it's gonna reflect itself in the liver sulfur. So that's the important part. And I even wanna make sure the inside of this is done beautifully too. If I had this in the pickle a little bit longer, I could, if I had in the pickle a little bit longer, I could actually get all that out of this area here. Okay, here again, here's my rounded edge. I'm gonna get in and pull my piece nice and round if I saw it going over a little bit. This is pretty useful for this part of it, so I'll show you guys. Okay, I'm ready to liver sulfur this piece, and then I'm gonna show you guys building up all the way to the top. All right, hang on a second. You guys know liver sulfur. I have my pot over here.
Diana Alexander put a post or a link on Rio Grande for the wheel.
Oh, thank you, Diane.
3M gray deburring 6 wheel.
Okay,
That's what it comes up on the link, but yeah.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. Diane was in my first intentional metalsmithing class. I love all you guys. These guys helped me out so much, because you guys, I'm so surprised you guys are still here and around, because you guys know things like I do. But thank you, Diane. You guys are so helpful. There's my nasty liver of sulfur. Here it is, nice and dark. I'm gonna dip it in here. I used to actually coat the inside of this.
That was fast.
Yeah, oh my God, because it's hot. When you use hot liver sulfur, you get a shinier look too. So yeah, this liver sulfur, look at how shiny, I'll show you in a minute how shiny it already is. So it's not dull. Your liver sulfur should not be dull. See, so it's got to even though it's dark, now at this point I want to shine. Look at this. So I'm going to get in. So as long as all of your pickle, it gives it kind of like a white powdery look. As long as all that is gone and off your piece, it'll be nice and vibrant and beautiful. You could even polish this all the way back to a really super light one too. I'm gonna use this to get the inside clean. This inside I try to scrub as clean as I can, even around the edges. I used to actually put a sealant on the inside so it wouldn't get dark, but I found this is probably just the best way, either to cut out the back, or I'm not going to cut out my back, because when you cut out your back, you actually, if your bezel, if you find that you made it a little bit too low, you could actually cut your back out to give it that little bit of extra room to sit down inside, you know, and then you'll have a little bit more room for height. You'll give yourself a little tiny bit more room so you can burnish it over your stone. Okay. And I can always get this more polished. I just want to make sure that inside looks good. There's my stone. Here's my piece. You can see, this is when I'm handling it. You can see it's getting a little bit dirty. So I have to make sure I'm going to clean it right when I'm all done. But now, here again, this is my round pliers, my half round pliers right here. See that round? That helps me to make the sizing. I'm pretty good. Oh my God, watch, I'm gonna make a big mistake. I was just gonna say, I'm pretty good at like eyeballing and getting my size, but I don't wanna say that because isn't that the exact time when you really get in there and show that you don't know what you're doing, right?
Yep. Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law, so I'm not gonna say that. Okay, so this is that 14 gauge. I don't wanna use a lot of my sterling silver for this, but I do have, you know, it's not actually in a position where it's going to be bumped or rubbed a lot. So let's see if this is going to fit. There, that one fits. I know I need another one. I'm going to need at least 2 or 3. So because this is pinched with my double flush, I want to make sure I have a flush edge on here. If you guys like my workbench, it's a little dirty, but hey.
Hawk Pink is asking you if you could repeat what the wire is from. Parawire, 14 gauge?
Yes, Parawire makes all the wire, and I love those guys. They're in New Jersey. Not sterling silver wire, but they make all the bronze wire. They actually are the creators of the wire. And Metalliferous has this wire, Rio has it, you know, and then they sell it to Eurotool. So I think Parawire you need to get, I think it's wholesale or maybe it's not wholesale. I think you can get it retail. So, okay, see I have 2 of them stacked in there. Let me see where my...
Why use the silver-coated copper wire versus the steel wire?
Oh, because you know what happened? I had to do a repair. And it was a piece like this, you know, and I had to do a repair. So maybe I had to go back in and pull a stone out over here. And the whole other piece, I could protect it with a wet paper towel and I just reset the stone. Or maybe, you know, I had to reset the solder, something came off. And then I threw everything in the pickle and there was steel under the other pieces. And what that does when you throw it in the pickle is you get a coating of copper all over your piece. So it's not good. Okay, now this might be a good height if it wasn't scalloped. But because I'm working with scalloped, I'm gonna put one more in here. I'm gonna put one more height in here because you really want that scallop to be at a good height. Almost done, guys. Maybe I won't even show setting it because you guys, I still have to do some soldering with it, but I'm just gonna show. This will help Kim, who is such a wonderful designer and, okay. And all you guys, you got to see a little updated version. Everybody, your gems are coming and I wanna make sure you guys are in good shape when they get out to you to use them to the best of your advantage. Okay. See, I guess I've set so many of these. Okay, now I can brag about myself because I just did 3 of them. So I'm pretty good at this, guys. All right, now is the time to really clean up your gem. And I'm gonna set it in here. And I always wanna make sure it's gonna sit flush. So these gems sometimes when you have it there, when I'm setting my gem, well, I'm going to actually, I'll go ahead and start showing you. So see, it's just a little, you just have a little height in here. But because the back is uneven, when I set mine, I like to use, I'll show you what pliers I love using. I'll just set it. I'll have to.
So you're trying to raise the stone to the bottom of the scallop?
Yes, to the bottom of the scallop. Because the scallop, scallop is tricky. If I'm working with the square, I need, you need to start with your ends first. So when you're working with scallop, think of them as tabs. These are the pliers I love using. I had a cleaned up pair, but you guys get this. And, I'm just going to kind of bring it over. And then I'm going to do your four corners.
Once the bezel is set, can the para wire shift?
The para wire will not shift. And see, now I'm going in and kind of scalloping it all the way around. No, because I made these so they hug to the bottom of my piece. I did not cut out my back, so if there's an area here or here. Okay, see, it's looking good. Now I have to get in. I might use this piece. I got this actually from Robert. Let's see if this works in the corners. Sometimes, I don't know, I think sometimes I really like just getting in here. See how I'm on my bench pin and I'm getting in here in these corners of the beveled wire. Like I am hitting these areas. So never move your metal from one state to the other that quickly, super quickly, because you just really want to go around a couple times as you're setting your piece. So everything is in flow and everything works. See, like right here, it looks like my corner might get a little upset. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys love your stones when you get them. And if you don't have stones, I actually still have a few left. And thank you guys so much for you guys who ordered them. I think you guys knew I ordered a whole bunch of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, are people going to, I was just a little bit nervous, when you invest a lot of money and it's like, okay, I hope these sell. Okay, so see, I'm getting closer and closer. You're just kind of working it and working it. And now I can bring it up this way and bring it around up here. I don't think I'm going to want to take this one apart. I might just drill through. So remember, you guys, I talked another time about, assembly. This is such a beautiful piece. No one knows really that if this piece is super deep. We don't know if it's super deep. And then I'll do right at the end, I'll kind of just get in here. It shines up the edge. It kind of work hardens it. And I'm just bringing this up and over my edges. Makes it shiny. You get a nice shiny look. Voila! I would work it. I'm going to work it a little bit more, burnishing it over the edge. But, I've raised it up. When you raise it up, you can really see the lightness inside there, because it's raised. I do have to polish up my stone a little bit on the top. The only part I touched was the top, just with a little bit of water, on a paper towel. So when it's shining, you can see because there is height in there. I think, I talked to you guys a lot about cold join. So at this point, I don't think I'm going to take this apart again. What I'm going to do, so if you get your whole piece done and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put a connection on there, I probably will just drill, I'll drill maybe into an area here, into an area somewhere else, and I can attach it in that way. It's a cold joint attachment. Make sense? Okay. Let's get in. I'm going to sit here over here. So I'm all done showing you guys that. I'm going to put my phone. Matt, thank you so much. There's Matt. All right, let me flip it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, how did you guys like that? Was that pretty cool? So that's our gems. When you guys get the gems in, you can see these I decided to do shallow because they're a ring. But this is really how you get that nice height with your piece. And this really is how you do those really deep rose cuts too. So Matt is a potter and he's also a blacksmith. So He helps me out. He's going to show, like I have to show you guys again how to do riveting. That one was completely lost. So many people ask me about the riveting. Thank you, you guys. Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, Madeline, you've got a lot of work to do when you get your stones. Yeah, so, that's kind of it. And it really gives a pretty look. I have all summer long, I sat and I did these bezels. It's like, I don't know why. This summer I wasn't as creative for some reason. In some ways I was, but if I wasn't, when I would come into my studio and I wasn't as creative, I would just go over and I was like making bezels all summer, and it was kind of fun because I have bezels with scallops, I have bezels with all different kinds, Yeah, I know, it's gonna be really fun. So you guys can see. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, you know what, you guys, I have been in this field forever. I've been in this field, oh my gosh, for so long. I've been an educator for so long. And I am, because we don't take away from each other with our knowledge. We buy from each other. I'm creating jewelers who love jewelry, and you're creating jewelers who love jewelry. We're creating buyers and jewelers, and we're one big world. I put up a statement a long time ago, but it was, when a flower blooms, it doesn't think that, it's not afraid that the next flower next to it is more beautiful. We all have ideas. When a person is happy, you're adding more to the world. So I just want you guys to do your beautiful gems. You guys don't take away from me. Oh my God. In fact, I'm going to be having my jewelry show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's always the people who are on here who are buying up all my jewelry. So again, as many techniques as I show you guys, we all love each other and we love each other's jewelry. So let's keep ourselves in, one big world and not be threatened, by the next person. Even like I love having Matt come on. I'm not threatened by Matt. I want to maybe get a couple other jewelers on, and he's not threatened by me. I mean, we all know who's better than who, right, Matt? He's sticking his tongue out at me. Yeah, so really, you guys, in my group that I have in intentional metalsmithing, we really work together. We're not afraid to show our work. It really is a beautiful group. I grew up with all women in my life, I had a household. I'll tell you guys this story. It's like the first part of my life is such a big contrast to the second part of my life. The first part of my life, we were, upper middle class. We traveled a lot. We always had the nice clothes and the albums and all this. We'd sit and listen. We had a beautiful house. The second part of my life, we had nothing. So I have both sizes. Yes, we're just different at fingerprints. There's, for me, it's like when I'm showing a technique, I love seeing how, so here, when I'm showing this with scallops, I love getting on to Facebook or looking at people's work and seeing how different people interpret the same look. Never. When I go to Mexico, one of the most exciting things is to really see my students shine through for who they are in their work. I have 5 days and I'm showing you, so in Mexico I have 5 days and I'm showing a technique, but everyone is different. And this is how it's always been for me teaching. Every single person is different, and you're going to add your own little flair into it. So even if the first time you copy something exactly, the second time you do it, it's going to be a little step into your own personal way that you do things, So it's like I was showing like this little piece here. It just has 2 nubs on the side. This was like the first exploration, and it has one on the bottom and a big one on top. But this was the first way that I explored, and started going into this technique where it really, expands itself out. But so to finish my story, I grew up with 6 women, my mom and her 5 girls. My mom bought a 2-flat right in the south side of Chicago, and it was 6 of us on the bottom floor, and then my aunt and her 2 girls moved in upstairs. So we had 9 women in one house in the south side of Chicago. And it was interesting because when my daughter and we went looking at her college, there was a school that we looked at that was telling us that back in time, it was called a brothel. If you had more than 6 women that lived in a house, it was called a brothel. So it was not allowed, like back in the turn of the century, to have more than 6 women living in a house. Isn't that interesting? Oh my gosh, so I grew up in a brothel, right? Hi you guys, nice to see you just joining. Well, this one, I'm gonna make sure that I save this one. Thank you for coming on. This is gonna be saved. Yeah, he's knocking on wood. Matt is, last time I lost it. It seems like my internet is pretty good today. So, you guys, are you guys working? Oh, thank you for the hearts. Everyone, people who ordered their gems, they have gems coming. I still have some gems up there. I kind of just want to put out that batch. I'm going to be having a jewelry sale really soon. I'm thinking mid-October, and then I'll have another, I'll do a little bit more gems because I ended up with some. I'm going to take out what I need, but I'm not going to take out 50 sets. So the small blue brush. Oh, you mean that I used?
Scrubbing.
Oh, the scrubbing brush. Okay. Here's what it is called. These were from, I think, you know what? This is actually part of the kit. Okay, you guys, so when you go on to this is part of the kit. So there's a whole soldering setup for $250 and under. And there's a free soldering course called Alchemy of Soldering. I have a group on there too that I love that, is really kind of staying and working things out in the Alchemy of Soldering. Some people, oh, thank you. Some people might be in here today, who are in the Alchemy of Soldering, but get onto that. It's a whole free course. It's a $250 nomadic setup. I just got posted on there. I'm pulling out all the pieces and naming the tools, and I'm showing you guys. Like when I go to India and when I go to Mexico, it all fits. It's probably like 30 pounds. It fits into a leather bag, and I absolutely have everything there, and I can build and all of this jewelry with the $250 setup. So everything's there. So, it's kind of like I like to be nomadic. I love I love being able to be a silversmith and do everything with this type of work. I'm always challenging myself for bigger and bigger and bigger. Like this piece here was all done with that $250 setup. Voila, the whole thing. So it's pretty cool when you can work this big. So that's on my site. Aw, you're welcome, you guys. Well, oh my gosh. So that's kind of it. I think I had one space that opened up with my Mexico workshop, if anyone's open. I canceled mine in the fall. I'll in my studio. We'll see. This is my last one, my only one that I'm doing this year in Mexico. There's one space left. And I think we have India on. We're going to see for traveling and going to India. We're doing this gem hunting that I have here in India, and that's in end of January. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on with me and what's going on here. I wanted to tell you guys too, Christina, who you guys know, is my right-hand man in getting things set up. She actually is starting, I think it's a little sponsored, maybe it's like a mentoring for $10 a month. She has it. And Christina, what is the name of what is the name? Okay, there's my Kajabi. That's where Christina put it up. There's my Kajabi, where you guys could get on to find all the tools. It has, I have a YouTube station where you guys can see all the back recordings of this when I show up on Thursday, hopefully if this gets saved. And so there's my workshops. And also I have that YouTube station where you guys can get on and watch all of these recorded. And then Christina, can you put up the reason I want to put up Christina's is I know a lot of people know Christina. She's actually my operationals manager, and she has been a big part really in helping me with the organizing of this course that I'm doing, with my company that I'm building, with getting the gems organized and all of this. So, oh, Diane, you signed up. Good. So, so Christina, she's really been a big help for me. So I'm probably her biggest cheerleader. And that's what we do for each other. You know that, guys? Like, that's what we do for each other. There's Christina's. So we help each other. We're not threatened. We want to help everybody reach their goals, reach their dreams. You guys certainly are helping me reach my goals, reach my dreams. It's been a dream for me to do this online course that I'm doing. and I can really find new things to present like these on Thursday. So that's why you guys all get this for free. We help each other out, and if you guys can, when you guys get your gems, I have my guy cutting already. So if you guys like them, post your finished pieces and tag me with your stone. Tag me with your stones. I would love that. I have a lot of my people who love my stones and love to buy them, and some new people too that just bought like a little collection. I want to run this past you guys too. Community, not over competition. Mwah, I love that. So tell me what you guys think about this name. I was thinking of another name for my gems. I had shamanic fashion, which my base is Croatian. We have shamans way back in time in Croatia, but I don't want to get down the road and be politically incorrect. I'm the one who's always talking, being politically correct. So I'm actually feeling like I'm feeling like I want to change my gem name and my whole educational area, and I might have tools down the road. I might have pliers. I don't know. I'm just exploring where I'm going with all of this because I know what works well and I know what I love. So I actually changed, I'm in the process of changing my name to Jewelry Mécanique, which is jewelry mechanic with the French accent. Jewelry. So I used to own Art Mécanique, and now actually I really kind of like the Jewelry Mécanique. So let me know if you guys like Jewelry Mécanique. I'd love to hear some feedback. I'm thinking that's going to be where the stones are. So, if you guys are a working jeweler, you can have a place to tag me so you don't have to tag my Susan Lenhart site. It's just kind of politeness that we do for each other, So I'd love that. Jewelry Mécanique, there it is. So let me know how you guys like this name. I would love it. Oh my gosh, thank you. I love our live presentations. Good. Oh, good. I have hearts. So maybe somebody. Oh, good. So yeah. So we'll get that up and we'll let you guys know. We'll let you guys know. And there's Adrian too. Hi, Adrian. Oui. Oh, thank you guys for the encouragement. Really, it's like that's what we do in our Facebook Live with our group and with the Alchemy of Soldering. If you guys aren't in Intentional Metalsmithing group, please feel free to get onto my, it's a site anyone can join. It's the Alchemy of Soldering. We get in there. I do some demos sometimes. I haven't in a while, but we do demos. We all are communicating there. And that one stays up forever, and I'm always tending to it. So if you're not in my Intentional Metalsmithing course and you want a community, get into my Alchemy of Soldering. It's a great place. We run things by each other. Thank you so much for your input. I loved, it helps me out since I grew up in a brothel. In the second part of my life, I grew up in a brothel. It could be Madame Mécanique. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's going to make my day. Thank you so much for that comment. The Alchemy of Soldering, there's Alchemy of Soldering. So if you guys aren't in Intentional Metalsmithing, or if you're even in Intentional Metalsmithing, hop in, join us there. We're a really amazing group there as well. And, I show some freebies on there, and we're always running things by each other too. So, all right, you guys, it is about 1 o'clock. I usually try to keep these smaller, but how can you do it, Okay, is there, Don Draper on Madman. Oh, I need to watch that, don't I? I hear good things about that. If you feel isolated, hop on. Get on here. Get onto the Alchemy of Soldering. That's at $250 setup. People are showing their work. They're exploring. We're showing everything, that we've done from just with this really simplistic, the really simplistic beginner over and over again. So, oh my gosh, absolutely, you guys. And thank you, Diane, for posting that wheel. I'm going to try to save this, you guys. So I'm going to get off now. Happy jewelry building. You guys will have your gems probably by Monday or Tuesday, unless our postal is down, and you guys just got some ways to build. So, you're welcome, you guys. I'm going to say adios and take a look at my jewelry before we go. Bye-bye. Okay.